me anything.
Questions? Don, you're welcome to join in.
Sure.
I'm curious about your process of writing poetry. What does that look like for you? Is it always a fairly smooth and easygoing thing, or do you wrestle for weeks over words? Or?
No, I'm just very, very, very fortunate. I just think of one line. I just get a line, just any line, and then it just comes. It just comes. I usually can get a poem written in like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And if I go back over it, I might change a couple of things. Just very, very lucky. Really fortunate. I don't think I'm even writing them. Somebody's just coming through me. Well, we want more questions. Come on, put the hands up. Great.
Where did the idea come from to join poems and visual art?
Well, when I first went to see Don's show, I had said to him, like, I'm a poet and I've got a book. I said, you should have a book. And then he said, well, and I said, well, we can maybe do a book together. And then a couple of weeks later, we had lunch and discussed it further. We said, yeah, we're going to do this. And then life got in the way. We got busy. And then about a year later, he called up and asked if I could send him some poems for his artistic students, ones that were really quite good, could paint to. So then that happened, and then we said, you know what, we've really got to do this. We really have to. And that was in June gone by, and then I started working on the poems, I believe, in August, and I'm done by October, and then we went to press. So
Actually, remember you did, in your previous book, you did put one of my
yes,
art
yeah,
paintings.
the artist
That's
is
how
the
we
savior.
started.
Yeah, that's how we actually started. I did a book with just some paintings in it to a book of, this is kind of funny, Villanarles aren't a big seller at all. Never will be, probably. But I'd written a bunch because I decided I had to get some structure into my writing. And my granddaughter is, she's special needs, but she's pretty good at painting for her special needs. And I thought, it would be nice to have some of her paintings or pictures or drawings from school. It's just grade 9, but in the book. So she said, oh, I'd really like that. So it started, I was just going to put a few of hers in. And then I thought, well, I'll put a couple of mine in, so she'll have that when I'm dead and gone, always thinking of the modeling. And then I thought, we're not very good. We should have some good artists in there. So then I asked a couple of other people that are good artists, and I didn't know Don that well, and I didn't dare ask him for more than one, because I thought, boy, if I can even get one in, I'll be just so happy, because he's such a good artist. And he said, yeah, okay. And that went in there, and it's
Hey, I
just,
was more enthusiastic than that.
he said, do I have to? No. So that's how it started, and then the small little book, and my granddaughter's very happy with it. A couple of people have bought it. It's nothing like this. This has got, like, every page is great artwork. Like Don, I'm just in awe of your talent. It's just amazing. If you ever go over to a studio downstairs, my God, the amount of paintings there, and every one of them's terrifically good. Yeah.
She's very kind.
Oh, it's true. You must go over. Even go onto his website. You've got cards, don't you, Don?
Yeah, I have some cards.
Pick up
if
some
you
cards.
like, and, if you'd like to see when I'm having a show, and if you leave me your email, I can let you know. You won't be buried by it, but a couple of times a year, I'll fill up your box with one email.
More questions?
I have one.
Yeah.
For the forest, the
Pale Forest?
Pale Forest, yeah.
Yep.
Is that the original painting and then you did it over top the abstract?
Oh, no, the other one's elsewhere completely.
So is that a print
That's-
and then you added to
I
it, or
don't
did
do
you reprint
prints.
it?
I do,
So you
I worked
reprint.
for about 10 years at Alice being a print maker, doing stone lithography, that's the handmade things.
Yeah.
But, this idea of, I'm going to take a photograph of this, I'm going to sign them, and I'm going to,
Yeah.
run off a whole pile of, to me, they're just like magazine covers
Yeah.
that are signed. No, I don't do that.
So you reprint
These
them?
are originals.
Yeah.
All I did was look at my original painting and think, what else can I do with this? And so I painted another painting. I actually did about 3 or 4 paintings based on the idea of this.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then for something like the choir, do you just, like you're creating the artwork and then the name came to you, like the choir?
Yeah, in that case it did. I just created it, and probably a couple of years later I came up with the name. You know, quite often I'll just do a painting, and then later hey, I think I got to put this in a show and give it a name. I wonder what I'll call it. What do you think? Quite often I'll ask my wife, what do you think this should be called? What does it look like to you? Yeah. Obviously I'm not meant to be a poet and get into the word thing. I'm an image guy. Anyways, yeah.
More questions?
You had a phrase in one of your poems, the Valley of Eight Echoes. Is that referencing anything, or is
For me it is.
Okay.
Like I'm a musician also, and of
Okay.
course there's 8 notes in an octave.
Okay.
So it's, you know, just 8 major notes like
Okay.
CD. You've got all your sharps and flats, but there's 8 notes, major notes in the scale.
Okay.
So I was just thinking of that. 8 echoes. If they were all played together and we weren't on Earth, and they'd have different tones, and they could all sound, it's like nothing we've ever heard, and they wouldn't clash, wouldn't it be beautiful? So that would be the Valley of 8 Echoes to me. So, who hasn't asked a question? You ladies, you must have a question.
Were you aware in childhood that you are a poet, or how did that come to you, or how did you find
This
your
is
voice?
great, buddy. When I was about 12 or 13 in high school, well, I think I was in junior high, and there was this boy I thought was so cute, you know, and I was shy. So I wrote a little poem at home, and I showed it to my girlfriend, and she's reading through, and she gets halfway through, and she starts laughing and laughing and laughing. And I said, "What are you laughing at?" You know, because I'd written this serious poem. She says, "These lines are just mental. They don't belong here." And I never forgot this. There was a line that said, his curly locks, me crazy knocks." That was back at 13. So then I didn't do any for a little while, but I actually, I liked poetry all through school. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed memorizing it, and we had to do that in school back in those days. You had to memorize and then recite. And yeah, I got into actually really writing poetry when my daughter was in a daycare while I was working. She was a year and a half, or was she 2? Anyhow, she was at that young age. She wouldn't listen to anybody, so they wouldn't keep her. So I had to quit work, and they sent her to a called Early Childhood Education. And she could have been there a couple of years, but she got it. She was out in 3 months. But it was far enough away. I lived in Crescent Beach, and I had to come all the way into North Surrey for 2 hours while she went to this thing. You couldn't have anyone else involved except the teachers and myself at home. So I had 2 hours to kill every day with nothing to do but sit in the school parking lot. Nothing to do. So I took pen and paper and I started really writing then. So I was about 26 or 27 when I started really getting into writing poetry. Got over the his curly locks, me crazy knocks by that time. Anybody else? Anybody else? Valley echoes. No? 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 Okay. Well, Dawn, thank you for allowing me to write poetry to this, and I hope you will take a look at the book and, you know, skim through it and see if you can.
Thank you for writing the poem.
Oh, my pleasure indeed.